Your mission is simple, to build brands and break in talent. How did you design the Lincoln Park Room to complete those missions?
Early in my career, graduating from college, I started working for the agency world. Mm-hmm. And my duties were to help build brands for Fortune 500 companies.
Sure.
Early in my career, I realized that the path for a very well-funded company was really fragmented. Meaning, most agencies had to go to an advertising firm to get their ad plan, to a PR agency to get their public relations plan, a management consulting firm maybe to get their operations plan. Yeah. But ironically enough, none of those agencies were well positioned to sell their product or service. Right. So after working 10 years in that world,
yes.
I decided to open up my own agency, which is the LPR, the Lincoln Park Room. Right. A key component to be able to accomplish that mission, to be able to produce an idea from concept to commerce completely in-house, was this facility and the location. Right, so our facility, our third floor houses a Dolby Atmos recording studio. Our second floor houses a fully immersive product launch venue. Our first floor houses a pop-up shop and a podcast suite. So what that enables us to do is, what I said earlier, produce any type of idea from concept to commerce in-house, meaning if we work for a company, let's say a shoe company like Nike, right, and they were launching a new shoe, right, if they were to hire the LPR, we would be able to produce that from the beginning all the way to commerce, meaning we would be able to shoot their commercial in-house because we have a film production studio. Right. We would be able to record a professional song in our Dolby Atmos studio. We would be able to conduct a product launch on our second floor, focusing on media and influencer engagement. And then finally, we would be able to sell the product or service in our first floor space, which is a street side pop-up shop and also a street side podcast suite. Okay. And then during the entire life cycle of the event, we would be able to gain attention through those amenities like the podcast suite, etc.
You're providing, from my indication, all the contemporary tools for creators to create. So you're sitting there, you have a startup, you have a new company, you have a restaurant you want to open, and you have no clue on how to create a buzz for your brand. So what do these people do to get connected to you?
I would say the first step is for that brand to be able to have a clear view of what it is they want to do, mm-hmm, via creating an RFP, okay, a request for proposal, okay, or a business plan.
Very good.
Once they have that, to connect with the LPR, it's pretty simple. Right. They would basically send me an email, or call me. My information is at lincolnparkroom.com. Okay. We would ask for a RFP. If the company is not able to create a typical RFP, they could just document their ideas and send it via email. We would review that, and then the next steps after that would be to conduct an on-site meeting, a tour, and then kind of take it from there.
Very good. So you are currently doing a monthly Ozfest named after the nearby park. Mm-hmm. So what kind of community has been built at those gatherings, and how would you encourage people to participate in that?
The Ozfest is really near and dear to our heart. At the LPR, we do two things, right? The first thing is we provide strategic brand building services, mm-hmm, to other brands. But because we have the infrastructure to build brands, as a service, we can also build our own brands. OzPark Fest is one of those brands. OzPark Fest is basically, as you mentioned, Pat, we're half a block from OzPark. That's where the name came from. I think it's a very unique park.
Oh, yeah.
So that's where the name came from. And because we have a very unique facility, I think we also have a very unique festival. In addition to traditional festival capabilities, which is mainly screening,
Right.
we have the capability to do many other things because we have a recording studio, we have a pop-up shop, etc.
Right.
So Ozpark Fest is actually a 4-part structure. The first part is a podcast.
Okay.
The second part is a Dolby Atmos and a Dolby Vision workshop.
Nice.
The third part is the film screening, and then the fourth part is a live music showcase. But because of our unique amenities, in addition to doing traditional film screening, we can also do holistic film incubation, right? So if we have a filmmaker, an audio engineer, and an executive producer, and they have some type of idea, they can meet here. They can use our film production studio to begin shooting. They could use our recording studio to begin doing production, pre-production, which I think is really important to do pre-production for filmmakers to meet with audio engineers in the beginning, because you definitely don't want to fix things in post. You're right. So especially if you want to do Dolby Atmos and Dolby Vision.
That's what I was going to say.
Things of that nature. So we can provide holistic film incubation services, which is something that we're doing as well. In essence, what Ozpark Fest is it's our version of Chicago's mini South by Southwest. And that's what we want to, what we're aspiring to morph into, right? The Ozpark Fest is a monthly film fest.
Yes.
It's conducted on the last Sunday of the month, right? One of those months, we want to expand outdoors. So we want to expand on Lincoln Avenue, encompassing Ozpark, with the Mecca central location being the LPR. And I think
that would be a block street fest.
Yeah, it would be a block and a park, the entire park. And what's unique about Lincoln Park, and I don't know exactly why it is, but Oz Park, they currently don't have a fest at Oz Park, any type of fest. Second thing is, most fests, or I think every fest that I know of, they're all a taco fest, a beer fest, et cetera. And what we're seeking to do is a creative fest for creatives. Being a couple of blocks from Oz Park and Lincoln Park High School and the lakefront, et cetera, I think we're really, really well positioned to do that. So that's what we aspire for Oz Park to be, Chicago's version or play on South by Southwest.
Finding funding sources for creative projects is also a goal for any creator, for any brand, for anybody who's trying to start something up. How do you provide a networking or direct guide for both creator and funders and get them together?
Well, we produce many events here at the LPR. They're cross-use case, cross-industry. For example, there's an event that we do that's called the Mastermind Supper Club. Okay. It's a friend of mine who's an attorney who manages a $1 billion hedge fund. Okay. So he's done events here. And it's kind of like a Shark Tank. So you go up to the stage, you pitch, and then there's investors at the LPR. We work with various organizations like the Grammys, the Women in Music, Music Managers Forum. If you are doing an album, something in the music industry, we have done pharmaceutical events. Wow. So I think one way is for individuals to jump on the Lincoln Park Room website and seek to attend our events. Okay. The other thing is that because of the unique nature of the LPR, we can help a prospective client pitch a sponsor or obtain extra funds because we have revenue streams. For example, we have a canopy in the exterior of the building. So if a client wants to produce an activation and they want to gain sponsorship, that's really important because the entire building is designed to become the brand. So branding on Lincoln Avenue is a good revenue stream because you can catch every demographic, and it's a very heavy populated street. Even if you're doing something on the second floor,
Right.
and we're branding the walls here, you could still see it from the outside. So there are things like that we can help provide to prospective clients so they can obtain additional funding.
So we talked about what led you here, and that was the basis of this next question. But what was behind your choice of location and how you designed the 3 floors?
The first challenge was to find the right location because we have a pop-up commerce piece to our business model.
And when you have a pop-up, you need people on the street.
You need people, you need attention, and you need access to key demographics, as many as you can.
Yeah.
So I actually was looking at 3 buildings before we purchased this building, and this one just shot up because I quickly realized that we're a couple of blocks from DePaul University, 2 blocks from Lincoln Park High School, close to various elementary schools, in an affluent area, but very eclectic, meaning there's an African-American presence on the street, there is a Latino presence,
Youth presence.
and a youth presence. So that was definitely the foundational piece of the entire business model. That was just like, the rules in real estate. It's location. And because we're a different type of agency where we have in-house assets, the pop-up piece, that was critical.
So you've started your own TV station called LPR Network. And so where does this go out to, and how are you positioning it so programming could flow through?
Got it. LPR TV, LPRTV.com, is our version of a hybrid broadcast network. Okay. Very similar to like ABC or NBC or CBS. The difference is that we broadcast over the internet, right? So I think that extends the reach. And I think the television and broadcast industry is changing because of it. One of the unique things we do here when we do events, I talked about engaging with key demographics, the location.
Right.
But the way we extend that reach is by live streaming. Right, so all the events that we do, we use a camera to cloud workflow. So as soon as we hit record on our cameras, they go to an Atomos recorder, a professional recorder, that instantly goes out to the internet, and we can have it appear anywhere. One interesting thing on the production side is that we use the Adobe Frame IO cloud, which means that if you have an editor, that editor could be anywhere, even in China. Once you hit record, as soon as you hit record, progressively, that content goes to the cloud, and it goes directly into Adobe Premiere.
Almost like a satellite.
Yes, right. It goes. It's the latency is so low. It's amazing. So while you're broadcasting, at the same time, you could send the same signal to a editor who can very quickly take it and then post something up in social media. So that's kind of like our workflow.
10 years from now, where do you want to be?
This project here is a very, very satisfying project for us. Great. Because I think part of it was luck, like a building like this was available in the right area.
Destiny too.
And destiny and energy. One of the things that we seek to do is I think we attract good energy, and we try to give good energy. All the people that we work around are good people. I think that's probably how we attracted you. And that I think that's how all of this came to be. Just being able to connect with good people in a good way. So 10 years from now, I would say that a next step would be to build another LPR in another city.
Okay.
Maybe Florida, in other locations. I think we got Miami. I think we got the formula right.
Yeah.
I think that the agency world, as I was mentioning, it's pretty fragmented.
Yes.
And I think we are onto a new business model. If you look at the big conglomerate agencies out there, I think as opposed to having one huge office in a city, I think would be a better idea for them to have multiple LPRs within a city. Right? To split it up. That way they'll have a presence in every neighborhood in a given city as opposed to having 10,000 people in one building. Right? And then have the capabilities to provide value, more value to your client. For example, being able to sell their product, which is what everybody wants to do, right? Everybody wants to sell a product or a service. That is the end goal. And that's what we do here, right? Our end goal is to provide a product or a service.
This is Patrick McDonald for HollywoodChicago.com. Copyright 2025.